Dorothy Complian.
What's your middle name?
Ann.
Is it with an E or an...
Yeah, I think it's A-N-N-A.
Anna.
Anna. But I always said Ann. I never liked the name Anna.
Why
Although
not?
now that I'm older, I like the name Anna.
Where were you born?
I guess in Glenview, Illinois.
What's your birthday?
April 2nd, 1919.
What was your mother's name?
Clara.
What high school did you attend?
New Trier High School.
Where's that?
It's in Winnetka. We took a bus. There was nothing in Glenview.
How far was your bus ride?
Probably 20 miles.
Did you like to sleep in when you were young, or did you get up early?
Getting up was never a problem.
Did you always wake up at 4 o'clock in the morning?
Not quite that early like I do now. Now I wake up too early. And there's nothing to do, unfortunately.
Did you get good grades in school?
No.
You didn't?
No, I didn't.
What kind of grades did you get?
I got passing grades, but I was not.
Not a straight A student?
No, I wasn't lucky kids. I don't know where you got your smarts, not for me.
You got by with your looks
Yeah.
and your personality?
No, I got by with my looks. Which have also disappeared.
That's not true. When did you play basketball?
Well, I don't think it had anything to do with the school. I think that was just something we did.
Was it an organized team?
Yeah, we played other teams in a gymnasium there, but I don't remember what that place was. I don't know.
Do you remember what your uniforms looked like?
No.
Were you confirmed in...
Yes.
Do you know when and where?
Well, I was confirmed in the Lutheran church, but I can't say where or when.
Do you remember about how old you were? Was it...
Whatever the age was for confirmation.
Okay, I don't remember.
I don't remember. Maybe 13.
So tell us a little bit about some of your favorite memories from when you were a young girl.
Well, I don't know what I could say about that. I was the only girl and I had two brothers, and I was definitely my dad's favorite. And anything I did was okay. So I could have been a spoiled brat, but I don't think I took advantage of that. And I always had lots of friends, so I was very fortunate.
Did you have a best friend?
Several girls were my best friends. There were girls that lived not too far from me that I spent most of my time with.
What kind of stuff did you do to play around, or?
I can't remember what we did as small children. I know that one time we spent the night, it was actually across the street. There was nothing across the street from Lois's folks' home, and we spent the night out there. We actually did stay all the night, too.
Did you tell ghost stories, or what did you do?
I think we just visited. I don't know that we told ghost stories, but we were good friends and talked a lot, and there was no problem talking.
Did you live in pretty much the same house growing up?
Yes. Yes.
In Glenview?
In Glenview. Always in the same house.
Tell us a little bit about your parents.
My parents were good parents, and as I said, I knew I was always my dad's favorite, and my mother was not very healthy. She had lots of surgery, and so at an early age I learned to do a lot of things, like the old washing machine. I was pretty young when I was able to handle that and hang the clothes out in the line. And the neighbors would say, "Oh, you're such a good girl." So I never minded doing it. It was good. It was good to be able to help.
That's good.
We had an older woman that had to stay with us for a while there. She kind of was supposed to take care of the house and things like that. And I didn't like the idea that I had to sleep with her. I remember I didn't like that because she smelled kind of funny.
Did she just not shower often enough?
I have no idea. Sometimes old women smell, I guess.
Your parents got divorced. Do you know how old you were?
I can't remember just when they were divorced, but I can remember hearing my mother lay up in bed crying because it was difficult for her.
Yeah.
So, but my dad was married, he married well, my dad was in the egg business for a while. And this lady and her husband also had that same kind of a business in another town. And she used to come and hang around a lot.
Yeah.
And pretty soon my dad didn't come home, and so they were married. And so they were married maybe 5 years, I don't know. But then they were divorced, and eventually my dad married an old family friend that was B. You probably remember her.
Yep, Aunt B.
Yeah,
Yep.
yeah. And her brother was married to his sister.
Okay.
Bert was married to Aunt Alice, so that he was back with the family, and he lived with her until he died when he was 82. And she died shortly after that, and she probably was 80, 81 years old too at that time.
What about your mother? Did she remarried? Is that right?
My mother did remarry, yes, and I never cared for the man she married, but we would go out there and spend a day with her, rarely.
Was his name Walter?
Yeah, his name is Walter, yes. Uh-huh.
And your dad's name was John?
Yeah. Mm-hmm. And my mother was buried in that town. I can remember when I went to the funeral, and as we were leaving the funeral, he was walking in front of me with a cousin of mine, and he was saying to him, "What am I supposed to do with these rings?" And I thought, "You fool, if you had any brains, you would keep the one that you gave her and give me the one that my father had given her," but he never did.
Huh. Do you know what happened to them?
No, whatever. Probably sold them cheap.
Do you remember where your parents were born?
Well, my dad, I'm sure, was born in Glenview, and my mother was born in Chicago. She was a Chicago girl from a big family.
Do you know where they met?
I don't know, but I think they used to have dances at some place there, and probably that's where they met.
Were any of your family members' parents or your siblings in the military?
Both of my brothers were. Norm was in the Merchant Marines, and Les was in the Army.
Did they stay in the military for a long time?
Just their tour, whatever their time was that they were required to be there, and then they went back to whatever they were going to do for work.
Where did you meet Grandpa?
Just by him passing my house. He lived with his sister. He was just coming down. It was between his junior and senior year, and he was just spending the summer there to work at Baxter's. And he had to walk past my house. And of course, he was just a young man in town, and that was how I got to know him, because I was there.
Did you introduce yourself first, or did he introduce himself?
No, I don't really know how we actually met, but I know I loved him the minute I saw him.
How did he propose?
Oh, gosh, I don't know.
What do you remember about your wedding?
Well, we didn't have a wedding. He and I and his sister and husband just went to the minister, and he married us.
Do you remember what you wore?
Well, I don't know that I wore anything special. I suppose I had a nice dress that I wore.
So you and Gramps used to entertain. What kind of parties did you have?
Oh, we had lots of friends. You know how Grandpa was. Everybody loved him. So we had lots of friends and lots of groups and we had 2 tables of bridge, and that group probably was the group we spent most of our time with.
Do you have a favorite cocktail?
Oh, I just like wine. I don't really care that much about other drinks.
Did you and Grandpa live in a lot of different homes, or did you stay in mostly the same?
We did the one place that I can think of, when Joyce was just 1 month old, we lived in an upstairs apartment that was, they were kind of rejuvenating the place and adding on to the back of it. So you had to go through this emptiness to get in, and the bathroom was out there too. But anyway, my washing machine was out there, which was a hard rubber wringer. And I may have told you this before, I don't remember too much about it because I must have passed out, but my hand went through the wringer
Oh.
These fingers went through the ringer, and the thumb was not in the ringer. So that must have stopped the machine or something, because or maybe I must scream that my neighbor came up and had called the doctor and called Owen home from work and things.
Did you
like
break
that.
any fingers?
I have stitches here, and but it didn't. I don't think it broke any fingers. But as I say, it was the hard rubber. It's funny it didn't, but that part just worked out. But I don't remember anything about screaming or anything. I just must have passed out.
I think you have a high pain tolerance.
High pain. I haven't had to endure a lot of pain, so I wouldn't be able to decide on that.
What about childbirth? Do you remember anything?
The funny thing I can remember about when Alexis was delivered, the doctor that was when we first moved to Michigan, and the doctor that I was going to was an older doctor, and he apparently died, so that the next younger doctor that came in, they took his place, was the one that was there at the time of the delivery. And they were all very amused at the fact that I commented on his beautiful teeth. Oh, he has such beautiful teeth, they said. So they were pretty entertained with that.
Did you have an option to have medication for the pain when you were?
I'm sure I had something for pain. Everybody was given something for pain at that time. It was just kind of automatic thing.
Right. Did you have any trouble with any of the kids?
No.
With the deliveries?
No, but Gail, was very premature. She was the only one. The rest were a normal term.
You just went into labor early, or was there problems?
I woke up and my water had broken, and so we went to the hospital immediately. And at that time, it was a miracle that a baby that premature could make it, but she must have been very hardy, so that she survived. And I went home from the hospital a bit earlier, but not too much. And they allowed us to take her home, and she progressed very fine.
Do you remember how much she weighed when you brought her home?
Well, she weighed 3 pounds when she was delivered.
Wow.
So that at that time, that was today. Friends of ours have one that was 1.5 pounds.
Wow.
But he's a doctor. So they showed pictures of that little baby in his hand, palm of his hand. But she's doing fine now.
Do you remember if Mom or Joyce were very big babies, or were they just average?
Well, they were big babies. I think Joyce was 8.5 pounds, and your mother was 8 pounds and 4 ounces. So those were both pretty big babies. And then Gail was 3 pounds.
Tell us a little bit about raising 3 girls.
There was never any problem for me. Gail was the perfect child. Always the perfect child. Never any problem at all.
It's those middle girls.
Joyce had a mind of her own, but she never caused any real trouble. But Gail was the easy one to have, and your mother, of course, being the youngest one, probably was a little spoiled, but not intentionally.
What were your favorite ages having kids?
Gosh, I don't even remember, but they were 4 years apart.
Do you remember enjoying them, having more fun when they were a certain age? Were they more trouble during a certain age?
Not really. I don't think they were in any trouble. It was just normal tour of duty.
Did the girls fight?
I don't remember that. I don't remember that they argued a lot.
Did you make any changes to your life after all 3 of the kids were in college?
I can't think of anything.
Did you travel more?
Well, Owen and I traveled quite a bit. The nicest trip we had was when we went to Iceland and Norway, and Gail and Bob went with us.
Yeah. Is that your favorite place you've ever traveled?
Yeah, I would say so. Farthest and favorite.
What's the most adventurous thing you've ever done?
Oh, gosh, I sure don't know. I can't think so. I don't think anything very different.
Do you like roller coasters?
Not particularly, but I didn't mind. I was never afraid on the rides and things at fairs.
You used to volunteer?
I did. I volunteered for many years at Lutheran General Hospital. It was a brand new hospital at the time. And at that time we were allowed to do everything. You know, I'd work with those newborn babies or bathe the patients, anything we could do.
Did you do anything that you really didn't like to do?
No.
That's great.
We went 2 days a week, Doris Keller and myself.
Did you work for a full day? Was it an 8-hour day?
No, we worked a full day. Yeah.
That's great.
No.
Do you have any specific memories about when you hit big milestones in age? Like
No.
30s, 40s?
I don't think so.
How about 90?
I'm very fortunate to be 90 years old and have nothing, no problems, no health problems. My heart is not, there's a little problem in the area of the aorta as far as the tests that Dr. Burnett ran this last time. And there is something about my right hip, but it's nothing that bothers me, whatever it is.
What changes over the last 90 years have made the biggest impression on you?
I think that the hardest period in my life is right now, when I'm able and don't have anything to do. So the hardest thing is just passing time.
What about world events? Changes in the world?
Well, I guess I can't take much blame or credit for that. Whatever happens, happens.
What are you the most shocked by that is available now or that was not when you were growing up?
I don't really know. I think maybe the availability that young people have of money and the amount of money they spend to compare with what we could do. I think that probably is the biggest difference in generations.
We like to buy a lot of shoes. I think we spend a lot of money on that.
Well, they last forever, you know. Your feet don't grow anymore.
That's true. Did anybody teach you how to cook?
No.
What's your favorite food? Your favorite meal?
I don't know. I can't really think of anything special. I like almost anything. I don't like any, unfamiliar things because I'm not used to them. So,
What's the worst thing you ever ate?
dear, I wouldn't know.
Do you have any regrets?
No, I really can't even complain. I could complain because one died, but he lived a good life. So.
Do you have anything else you'd like to add?
All in all, I had a very easy life. I guess that's why I'm living to be so old.